older families who studied their own books and even gathered reports of old times and distant lands from elves, dwarves, and men. Their own records began only after the settlement of the Shire, and their most ancient legends hardly looked further back than their wandering days. It is clear, nonetheless, from these legends, and from the evidence of their peculiar words and customs, that like many other folk, hobbits had in the distant past moved westward. Their earlier tales seem to glimpse a time when they dealt in the upper vales of Anduin, between the eaves of Greatwood and of Greenwood the Great and the Misty Mountains. Why they later undertook the hard and perilous crossing of the mountains is no longer certain. Their own accounts speak of the multiplying of men in the land, and of a shadow that fell on the forest, so that it became darkened, and its new name was Mirkwood. Before the crossing of the mountains, the hobbits had already become divided into 3 somewhat different breeds: Harfoots, Stores, and Fallowhides. The Harfoots were browner of skin, smaller and shorter, and they were beardless and bootless. Their hands and feet were neat and nimble, and they preferred highlands and hillsides. The Stores were broader, heavier in build, their feet and hands were larger, and they preferred flatlands and riversides. The Fallowhides were fairer of skin, and also of hair, and they were taller and slimmer than the others. They were lovers of trees and woodlands. The Harfoots had much to do. They moved westward early, and roamed as far as Weathertop, whilst others were still in Wildland. They were the most normal and representative variety of hobbit, and far the most numerous. They were the most inclined to settle in one place, and longest preserved their ancestral habit of living in tunnels and holes. The Stores lingered long by the banks of the great river, and were less shy of men. They came west after the Harfoots, and followed the course of the Loudwater southwards, and there many of them long dwelt. The Fallowhides, the least numerous, were a northerly branch. They were more friendly with the elves and the other hobbits than the other. They were more friendly with the elves than the other hobbits were, and had more skill in language and song than in handicrafts. And of old they preferred hunting to tilling. 3 rings for elven kings under the sky. 7 for dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.